Welcome to the DNA Advantage podcast, where you can learn facts about your DNA that can help you live a healthier, longer life, doing all the activities you dream of doing. If you want to gain more control over your health and the factors that influence it, you're in the right place. Hi there. Hope everybody's doing well. Today, I'm inspired by a social media post that Mel Robbins did about some things that we should learn as adults how to do, and we were never really taught. I think it's an opportunity not only to think about skills that we could improve upon for ourselves, but also thinking about what we can provide our kids in the future, our grandchildren, young people that we might not even be related to, but we would love to give them extra support. But these are 5 things that I feel all adults should know how to do and we're not taught. One is making friends. When we think about making friends, we assume it's intuitive, but what Mel Robbins said was really smart. She made the distinction from childhood to adulthood, and how as children, it is more of a natural process to make friends because you are placed in environments that promote friendship. You're in groups of people your own age. You are at the same stage of life as those around you, all through school, through classes, through sports, through all of your activities. You're aligned with people that are your age and that really have the same interests, because if you're playing soccer, clearly you're with others who like to play soccer, unless they're forced. But it's really interesting to then think about how we migrate into college. Typically, we have a major that we are with other people who have the same major and have the same interests. And when we're in our 20s and we graduate college, there's no skill set that is provided to us or that we are supported in aligning with people now that we're out amongst the general population, and we don't have those rails guiding us along the way of making friends. As we are entering adulthood and finding ourselves in our 20s, we realize I'm not surrounded by my friends, or I lost my friends. Did we really lose our friends, or did we just go in different directions? And it's not that we've really lost them, because if we do come together, we can be in the same place that we were when we left off. We still have those similarities and those memories and all of those alignments, but sometimes we will take it to heart that we've lost our friends, or we don't have the support of our friends that we had before. But it isn't something that we've done to deserve it, or that we don't have people who care about us. It's the fact that they're just not near us. That is really what inspired me to think through. There are a lot of things that we take to heart or that affect us in a way that is really a deep, long-lasting effect that we really need to think more about in how can we actually learn and grow and become experts in these different areas. So one is friendship. And let me just round that out by saying, when it comes to friendship, I think we can all do our part in reaching out, recognizing what we have as our values, as our interests, and then think about people that we've either met or opportunities to meet people who have those same values and those same interests. And I don't think they necessarily have to be in the same place in life or the same age. I don't think that's required at all, especially once we reach a certain age. But I think certainly if we are trying to align with someone who's just now having children and we are not in that place in our lives, they're going to be tugged in certain directions at certain times of the day that we may not be. So alignment is a part of it. But having friends is really important for health. It is really important for our sense of satisfaction in life. And there's a big payoff to investing in learning skills and investing time in making friends and reaching out to people that you may have lost touch with, or being able to recount those memories with people that we love and that we've cherished in our lives. So that is one thing. Another area that I really believe we need to learn how to do is to create and maintain wealth. Certainly in school, we need to learn how to write a check, balance a checkbook, and how to consider our savings and what percentage could go towards savings when we start earning a paycheck. What is the difference between being self-employed and being employed, and all of those different things that need to be learned earlier, not through a trial by error experience, because I can tell you that is not always the most comfortable scenario to be in from my own personal experience. It could be as early as middle school and high school that we learn these things, but even in college, it would be early enough to learn how to make your way in the world and what values align with being self-employed, starting your own business, or working for an employer. What values are propelling you into your career, and is it aligned? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? And is your desired career path going to support that? And just an example, I was a consultant in my early 20s. It was my first experience as an entrepreneur, as my own boss. And then I was consulting for a firm who I would travel a lot for. And I realized that I wanted a family, and I had never had a traditional family life as a child. Everything was discombobulated because of my mother's passing when I was 3. What we realize is it all feeds into what the lifestyle that we have, but also our health and our ability to have the lives and the lifestyle that we want. And my job was definitely taking me outside of the parameters of what I valued, because I really valued creating a family. And I did continue to travel until my oldest was 3. And I realized that it was too much. It was taking me outside of the realm of my values. And I needed to hone in on what was most important to me. We need to give the people that we love, the children in our lives, ourselves even, a talking to about how we can create the wealth, create the lifestyles that we want to have. And creating wealth is a whole nother level. I am no expert for sure, but when it comes to creating wealth, even thinking about having a coach that can help you navigate the investment arena, and having an investment advisor is great. I don't know how often they go into your values though. And that's why I mention a coach, because it's really valuable to have somebody who's looking into your true interests and what it is that drives you, to really think about what is going to be most beneficial and give you the most gratification. And it's not even wealth in terms of millions and millions of dollars, but wealth in terms of the lifestyle that you can have and the money to fund it, certainly, but identifying what that is for you. And everyone's different. Another thing we need to learn that I want to just touch upon is how to raise a child. And I was never taught how to raise a child. Now, I had some good examples in my life. I also had some bad examples. So you have to really be able to discern what you want to follow in life and what you want to discard. And it's really interesting how we assume that we're on our own when we have children, because we really do have some guidelines and some guidance if we want it. And we just have to be really careful who we tap into, because it may not be someone that we know a whole lot about their experience, or even their children and how they turned out. I just think there are a lot of opportunities to help younger people in the way that they raise children, and let them know that they're not alone and that they can make mistakes. There's no single way that we can raise a child correctly. there are so many decision points in the process of raising a child, and each child is different. So we have to also factor that in and make sure we're giving the support that that child needs. But I'm not going in too deep with that because, again, I am not an expert in wealth or in child rearing. I have only raised 3 children, and it remains to be seen how well I have done because they are only 23, 21, and 18 on Saturday. So all adults soon to be, but the jury's still out. So I think they're great kids though. But we have all of these things that are so incredibly important, and we really don't have education around how to do them. Of course, one of the biggest and closest to my heart is how to be the leader of your own health. That is primarily what I'll be talking about today. And there's the 5th one that I want to touch on at the same time is how to manage stress. Managing stress is a subtopic because when it comes to being the leader of your health, you need to be able to recognize what your own personal needs are for health and what the factors are that are influencing your health, and stress is always going to be one of those factors. So you want to be able to then understand how to manage stress, and everyone is different. Your sources of stress can be different, your reaction to stress and what actually causes stress, and what offsets the stress can be different for some people. Being able to get enough sleep, being able to anticipate when a stressful deadline or a stressful encounter is about to occur, and you know that you need extra sleep, extra nutrients, time to be centered and focused. You need the ability to take a step away and let off some steam, work out, get your endorphins going, do things that are actually self-care. We all put it under that category of self-care, but we aren't really identifying what that means to us. It's very individualized, and there's a real opportunity there. When it comes to being the leader of your health, understanding your body is the most important thing, because when you understand your body, you understand what it means to be the leader of your health and what your boundaries need to be. So setting boundaries and understanding what you need to do to stay within the confines of health, what's going to take you outside of those boundaries. Health is not a static thing that we can just establish and then expect it to be there forever. It's a continual contribution that we make. If we make contributions to our health every day, we're much more likely to have long-term health than if we ignore it and hope for the best. And when we start to feel sick or we start to have signs of deterioration of health, then we start to either cover up the symptoms or make amends. No matter what, it's never too late to support the body and start to identify what the true needs are. But I really believe that the sooner the better. I think that's just common sense. But we don't want to feel like it's too late or that we are waiting for that perfect moment to start. If we have gained a lot of weight or had a habit that we know is really unhealthy, or we have developed really poor sleep because of sleep habits, those all can be corrected. All of those things can change, and rather rapidly. So it's identifying what is going on and taking that time. It can be really helpful to have the insight of some outside perspective and appreciate what it takes to really get yourself in a position of authority over your body. I think it's important, though, for us to be making those decisions every single day. And every day we can gain a clearer understanding of what our specific needs are and what is really serving us. We might try a new diet or a new exercise or living in a new environment and realize that it's not in our best interest. And then we make the adjustment. So it's always paying attention to how we're responding and being able to move things forward. Having objectives and taking the time to reflect, to look at our family history, our personal health history, what it is that we want different from our family members or the same. We have to make those determinations so that we can set a target for ourselves and appreciate where we want to go and what some of our obstacles may be. I've heard a lot of people talk about things being genetic and assuming that they are destined to become diabetic or have heart disease or have a weight problem. And the reality is we have so much more control than we give ourselves credit for, or that we maybe want to take responsibility for, honestly. And so I think we need to just buck up and decide that that's what we're going to do, is take responsibility, setting the goals and making the choices that are getting us closer and closer to those goals. For those who don't know, I have a program that dives deeply into DNA and helps people understand their own personal DNA. And what that does for you is give you insight on what your strengths and weaknesses are. I also am starting a membership that is more of a weekly touch base with a group of people who are really wanting to improve their health, but they're not quite at that level where they want to understand the full breadth of their DNA. They just want to start feeling healthier and taking control. So it is a group, it's a smaller investment, it's very reasonable, and it is getting together weekly. If anyone is interested, you can contact me directly or let me know in the comments. Just type interested in the comments. But it really is about getting ourselves closer and closer to our optimal health and our optimal performance goals. When we want to be able to walk 3 miles a day, run a marathon, or be able to have the stamina to run in a full soccer game or a full lacrosse game, we need to work at it. And every week, what I want to do is offer people accountability and support and motivation, as well as really strong content that will help us all get where we want to go. And there are some important variables, things that we need to learn about our health. Just like the 5 things that I went through, I will cover those again really quickly. Just like these 5 things that I think we should all know as we go into adulthood, we have certain core things that we need to learn in order to be the healthiest that we can be. And that's what I want to offer in this membership. The 5 things that I feel all adults should know: how to make friends as adults, create wealth, be a leader of your health, how to manage stress, and how to raise a child. I am not an expert in all of those things. I just want to say that up front. Being an expert in health, it has been driven by not seeing others be experts in their health. Obviously, my mom passing away at 29 from cancer, and my dad was only 53 when he died of cancer. It's not a fault of their own. It's a reality that we can take charge and do things. And I needed to learn from that. For me to just look at it as a loss, that's unacceptable. Do something more with it and make more of it so that I can be here for my children and I can help others make decisions that will keep them out of a disease state and get people in a position of power over their health, rather than feeling like it's more of a victimhood or more of a predetermined situation. Because I can tell you, having researched DNA for over 10 years, it is not. We have epigenetics. We have the ability to make decisions that influence our health in very positive ways. And I want to make sure that people have the support and have the guidance. It can be a game changer. So I really appreciate all of you who have joined. If you do have any interest in a low-cost membership that will dive in a little deeper in supporting both motivation and inspiration for health, some support and education each week, just comment below interested. and I will give you more details. I am definitely excited for the new year. I think we have great opportunities to be moving forward in a positive direction with a lot more intention when it comes to health. Thank you again so much for being here today, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks so much for joining me to learn about DNA health. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. If you'd like to join my free community where we delve into more details about DNA, just click Community below.